What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. I hope everybody's having a great day. Guys, don't forget, Sunday, tomorrow, we're going to have our normal hangout at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so make sure you guys are there. It's always awesome to have you guys there, and we can exchange ideas and, ask questions, the whole nine yards, so I'll definitely see you on that one. All right, guys, I got a different one for you today. Instead of Mars, the moon, or something along them lines, I have Ryugu. Now, if you guys are not familiar with it, full name is actually 16173 Ryugu, which is basically an asteroid out in space, or a near-Earth asteroid, right? Let's get into this. First, I'll give you a rundown of the actual asteroid itself, and a couple pictures that'll make you kind of scratch your head because it makes you wonder why these guys are going after this rock, right? Let's get into it. Let's start off here. It's showing right here is 162173 Ryugu, and of course, this is the Wikipedia page. And it says right here, is a near-Earth object and a potentially hazardous asteroid of the Apollo group. It measures approximately 1 kilometer, or 0.6 of a mile, in diameter and is a dark object of the rare special type CG, with qualities of both C-type asteroid and G-type. And you can see right here, it says G-type asteroids are relatively uncommon type of carbonaceous asteroid that makes up approximately 5% of asteroids. The most notable asteroid in this class is C1 Ceres, and also has a high ultraviolet absorption. Now, I don't know if that's better for them, which I'm sure it is. In June 2018, a spacecraft, Hayabusa 2, arrived at the asteroid. Okay, discovery and name, it's telling you a little bit of information here. This is what I want you guys to see, because I found this pretty wild, and I didn't know this. It tells you basically right here, saying physical, and it's in orbits and everything else. And you guys know you get all the links to this, you know that. This is what I find interesting. Hayabusa mission, right? And you can see right here, Hayabusa 2's orbital pattern around Ryugu. And you can see right here, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, or the JAXA spacecraft. Hayabusa 2 was launched in December 2014 and successfully arrived at the asteroid on 27 June 2018. It is planned to return material from the asteroid to Earth by December 2020. That's going to be pretty interesting. The Hayabusa 2 mission includes 4 rovers with various scientific instruments. On 21 September 2018, the first 2 of these rovers, which hop around the surface of the asteroid, were released from Hayabusa 2. This marks the first time a mission has completed a successful landing on a fast-moving asteroid body. On 3rd of October 2018, the German-French Mobile Asteroid Surface Scout, or Mascot, lander successfully arrived on Ryugu, 10 days after the Minerva rovers landed. Its mission was short-lived, however, with only 16 hours available from its batteries. Now let's check out how far this is from Earth, right? And you can see right here the distance in kilometers. It was 279 million kilometers. And of course, this was from 1999. Now you can go down here, and it goes all the way down to, what is that right there? You're talking, it goes a little bit less than that. Let's see, should be 9. I think it's just a hair over. 9.61 million kilometers. I forget exactly what that is in miles. Now, as far as the distance in kilometers, back in 1999, you had 279 million. That comes out roughly around 173 million miles. So, it's actually pretty close to Earth, well, relatively speaking, right, in 2021. So, now let's have a look here. This gets pretty wild because it says earlier this month, Japan's space agency JAXA launched an explosive projectile at the space rock known as Ryugu from its Hayabusa asteroid probe. Japan wanted to blow a crater into the surface of the rock in order to collect some samples of material lying underneath, and early observations suggested it nailed its mark as planned. Now we can finally see what the crater looks like. To blow a hole in the asteroid without destroying the spacecraft itself, and without the force of the shot pushing Hayabusa back out into space, JAXA equipped the probe with explosive cannon-like charges that it releases into space above the asteroid's surface. The probe then retreats to a safe distance. The single-shot explosive charge fires its bullet-like projectile at the surface, and then probe returns to the site later. And then what it'll do is it'll actually go back into it and literally try to pick up, it'll land on it and try to pick up some material, right? The deployment of firing the projectile took place in early April. And now that the dust and debris has settled, Hayabusa has returned to the location and observed the crater it created. Now, as you can see in the GIF above, which I assume they're talking about this one still, because you can see where it displaced this rock here. See, this right here is underneath, and now it's kind of pushed out. It's funny how this is pretty clear on the right-hand side, this big boulder. But watch before it's blown out. See, right here. you can see where it looks like it's all completely blurry. Why is that? Why does the rest of this look okay? The details are pretty decent. But before the explosion, it looks pretty like it's been blocked out. Material's been, or information's been blocked out. See that? That's kind of weird. And now that this is out, nothing's changed as far as detail, other than contrast a little bit. It got a little darker, but this changed an awful lot. Now, I understand you could see the crater. See it? But before it blew a hole in this, or at least a crater into it, it literally had, like, it looks like there's information they took out of it. It may be just because it's low res, which is fine too, right? But it looks kind of strange. Anyway, the projectile struck Ryugu as intended, pushing some of the larger rocks away and displacing much of the pale white dust that covered the surface. What's left behind is a dark area of fresh asteroid material, which is exactly what JAXA was hoping for. JAXA scientists were initially skeptical that the projectile could create a hole of reasonable size. Some more pessimistic estimates suggest that the crater might be as small as 3 meters across. This crater is significantly larger, and Hayabusa's two engineers noted that they were pleasantly surprised with the results. It's a huge success for Hayabusa too, but the probe's job isn't done yet. JAXA ultimately wants to retrieve a sample of this fresh material before it commands Hayabusa to return to Earth, but the safety of the spacecraft is paramount and it is unclear if or when such a maneuver would happen. The spacecraft is expected to spend much of the rest of the year in orbit around the asteroid, so JAXA will have plenty of time to decide how to proceed. Now, this next page goes a little further into it. Japan's asteroid probe just blew another hole in the space rock Ryugu. Japan's Hayabusa asteroid has been in orbit around the space rock, known as Ryugu, for months now, and in February it attempted its most complicated maneuver yet. The spacecraft fired a projectile into the surface of the asteroid and snagged some samples, which will eventually attempt to deliver to Earth, but its mission was far from over. Now, less than 2 months later, Japan's space group JAXA has cleared the probe to attempt another sample-gathering maneuver, requiring that the spacecraft use an explosive device to launch a projectile at the rock's surface. Hayabusa's handlers back on Earth say it appears that the probe and its impactors did their jobs, and they have photo as proof. Now, it shows it right here. You see it right there, and then they got a large photo right here. Almost looks like an outgassing. See that? Gathering a sample of asteroid is tricky, especially with the space rock as debris covered as Ryugu. To make things a little bit easier, JAXA designed the probe with instruments called Small Carry-On Impactors, or SCIs. The impactors function like one-shot cannons, with the spacecraft releasing the impactor in space above Ryugu's surface and then retreating to a safe distance. The impactor then fires an explosive charge, blasting a solid bullet-like projectile into the rock and blasting away some of the surface debris, which we had read prior page, right? This step is vital to the mission's goal of sampling the material the asteroid is made up of, rather than just catching some of the dust from its outer layer. This time around, the blast was caught on camera, and you can clearly see a plume of dust and debris being pushed out from what we expect is a newly formed crater. Because the debris could damage the spacecraft if it's too close, JAXA will now wait a few weeks for things to calm down before returning to the crater and sending Hayabusa to its surface to perform a touch-and-go sample collection maneuver. Eventually, the spacecraft will return home with these other samples, which could help scientists better understand how asteroids form and where they originate. Now, yeah, I think they're there for something much more than just checking samples out. Now, let me explain. You can look at these two photos here. Now, I want you guys to take note of this because this is pretty wild. I've got these two photos here, and of course you guys will get the links. What I do is I just right-clicked on it and just save the image. Now, let me show you guys something because this is pretty cool. It makes you wonder why they're really here. Let me explain. Now, I can't rotate this because we're actually online, but let me just back up just a little bit here. Notice how we can see a lot of detail in here, right? But over in this spot here, and I'm going to let you guys check this out with your magnifying glasses before I zoom into this, but you can see like this white piece here, several other little white pieces, but look at all this information that has been redacted out of the photo. Here, here, here. Now watch this. I want you guys to see this is the most I can go in. This is the most I can zoom into. Now, I'm okay with pixelation and poor resolution. I get it. But check this out. Look at it. Completely redacted information. You can see it. It's not like it's just compression marks, because compression marks don't do this. They're usually just complete squares, right? That's what you'd expect. This, look at the way this thing is literally going like this. It's contoured and taking information out. They literally redacted information, but you can see just a little white piece of something right here where they didn't actually redact it all out. There's another white piece here, here, and there's something right there. You can see it looks like almost like a pipe or some kind of opening. It's black and it has this white piece. Now let me just back up just a little bit, and you guys can use your magnifiers. I'm going to back up just one more step. And check that out, guys, because to me, I can still see this. I can take my magnifier, and I can look at this from a distance, from where I got this photo now, and I can see this information has blatantly been redacted. Why? Look at all the information around this area right here. You can see, you can see details in the photo, but then everywhere around this white piece seems to be redacted. I can see that. They literally, you can actually see where they blotted out whatever the hell is sitting there. Now, take note of this object in the bottom here. And I can't move this up any more than this. And I'm going to zoom into this in a second. But check this out. Nice straight edge right here. Comes up. Goes like this here. Has a rounded piece. Goes all the way around. Notice that? Now let's zoom in to the maximum we can go in this photo, which is right there. And I'm going to drop it down. Check this out. Nice straight line. It looks like they try to blur it out here to try to break up that straight line. But look at straight line. Comes up. Has some detail in it. See it right there? Look at that nice angle right there. It goes like this. Bigger, blacker area. Straight. Nice angle right there. It comes down. But check this out. Literally goes up. May have like a smooth point to it. Comes right back down. Come on, guys. There's no way that this thing is natural. Now, they did say it's some kind of rock pile. This is what they said. It's a rubble pile is exactly what they said, right? A rubble pile? What the hell's keeping this thing together if it's just rubble? Come on, man. If you notice, a lot of these rocks that they go after have these weird shapes. You ever notice that? Imagine that. Why? Why do they go after these weird-looking rocks? Because they may be, and some people speculated, of course it's pure speculation, that these could be some kind of alien probes, right? And just going through the solar system, just checking things out. Who knows? What better way to camouflage yourself? I mean, just this rock just flying out in space, right? That's all it is. But I'm going to let you guys check this out. Not going to zoom in too much, but check out that bottom item right there. Right there to the left of my cursor. There's no way that that thing is natural or just a simple rock. There's an object up over here. Check that out with your magnifier before I zoom in. That looks like it has this black rectangular opening right there in the end. And then it supposedly looks like a rock, but check that out. Now I'm going to zoom in. Right there. Check that out. I'll move it back down here. Let you guys have a look at it. But yeah, they're doing something on this rock, and they're after this rock for a reason. What it may be, I don't know. And again, this item right here, check this out. Look at this object right here. It's like pointy as hell right there. Goes back. See that white piece? Now check this out. Way in the distance back there, it looks like these really almost like octagonal weird shapes. See this right here? Of course, they're really vague. It's kind of hard to see that. And this is zoomed in, so it's piss poor quality. But I'm going to back out just a little bit, and you can see these 1, 2. It looks like they're kind of in the shade off on the very edge of this. See that? Where the cutoff from light to dark is. And you can see these objects. Now, these are not objects. This is nothing more than just light flares, stuff like that. But this is on the ground. You can see it on the actual asteroid. Check that out. Now, let's go into something a little bit cooler. And I think you guys will like this. Now, this is about the asteroid explorer Hayabusa. And I'll give you this information. We don't need to go through all of this. But it's basically saying how it's going to deep space and all that stuff. This is basically what the spacecraft looks like. Right there. You got the high gain antenna, medium gain, and then you got another smaller one that's a low gain. Why they need that many antennas is beyond me, but that's what it is. Maybe it's just kind of redundancy, you know what I'm saying? All right. Now let's get into this page here, because this is pretty cool. And you can see right here, Hayabusa 2 sample, JAXA, Ryugu, Asteroid. Japan's asteroid probe just blew another hole, which we already went over. But what I want you guys to check out is some of these objects, and then I'm going to highlight them. You guys tell me if they're just simply just rocks. You guys can be the judge. All right. Here it is here. Let's get into that. There's something right here that, first of all, and again, it's the same color as the actual rest of the ground. But there's something right here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Right here. It has what looks like a triangular shape. See this right here? Whoops. Kind of messed that up. Of course, this mouse pad is sliding a bit on me, but you can see it going like this. But there's actually lines in this thing. It looks like it does this. It looks like it does this. And of course, that's very vague, but I'll show you that in a minute. But there's some kind of weird line doing this. There's a shape to this thing, guys. Look at this. I kind of did that sloppily. Let me do that again. It has this weird, and it has like these darker areas here. There's one that's a little shorter, one's a little longer, and it has what looks like this weird design on it. And I'll show you that in a second. But this thing looks like it goes like this. I was like, what the hell could that possibly be, right? Check out this object right there. And you can see it's off the ground. See the shadow under it right there? Now this is this object right here. Doing this. Has like this hole right here. And you can see the shadow to it. Other objects. These are hard to see, but they're there. Check this out. This object right here, it's literally got a shape like this. And has this little, what looks like a higher piece on it, right? That there. There's another piece right here. It looks like it's doing this. It actually goes like this. And look at the design carefully of this thing. Right here. Let's see if I can do this really good because this is hard to trace this, but it goes like this. Look at the actual boom. It goes like that. It goes back in. But there's a slit right here. It goes like this. Yeah. Really weird, man. I mean, it doesn't look like something you would see on a natural asteroid, or just a junk pile, if you will. But supposedly this is the, I don't know if this is the first or the second. This should be the second hole they blew in this thing, or at least a crater. This object here. This is kind of weird too, and like I said, I want to enhance all of these so you guys can see this much better. Look at this. What the hell? What does that, guys? Look at this. Comes down, those nice corners. It looks like it has a crack in, like a cracked egg, like you see in a cartoon type thing. Please tell me what the hell that is with this small black dot on it. See that? Yeah. If it's supposed to be basically a pile of rubble, basically floating out in space, which I highly doubt, yeah, I don't see how it could be like that. And you can see this piece right here. See something going up like this. Something going like this. And then this like small oval piece in that. What the hell could that possibly be, guys? What is that? There's some other areas not so easy to find, but you can see right here, if you zoom into this, there appears to be something white right here. Like they tried to take it out, and you can see right here, the only part right there that you can see that's actually white. Now I'm going to clear this up and enhance this for you. In other words, sharpen it up. This is the way this photo comes, guys. This is not the way I did this. This is the way it comes. That's the small one. I just made it larger, as you can see. So this is the original. This has nothing been tampered with. You get this small white piece here. Yeah. Has this weird funky shape that does this. Looks like it has a round circle type thing. I don't know if you guys can see that. But again, we'll get into that. All right, so let's jump into the other photo that's already done. And you can see it right here at the top. Now I'm going to go back and forth. See this? Let's move this in a little bit. And you can see the parts I've done. Now, let's zoom into this first part. We cleared it up, made it a little bit better. But what kind of frickin' design is that? I'm going to zoom back into this area again. Now, notice the line. I'm going to go ahead and just go back and forth. Look at the lines. They're there. And what I do is I just brought out the best I could. Now, this may not be 100% in this area right there. I'm okay with that. But whatever the hell this thing is, it's there. By just using the burn tool, I brought out the darker spots and the actual design. And I told you about that. It's right there. You can see it right there. Yeah. Yeah, going like this. Boom. Seriously, guys, come on. What the hell does that? Right there, you can see it. I'll zoom in a little bit more for you guys. That line is right there. It's in the picture. Okay? All right, let's move along to the next one. Here's this other object. And a couple other objects right here. I'm not sure what to make of those. Yeah. This object here. Now, this is the one I showed you here. Right there. That's the object I showed you right there. Fully enhanced and sharpened. Seriously, guys? You can see that right there. Look at the sharp edges on this thing. Seriously? Come on now. There's no way. Now, I'm not saying a sharp rock can't exist. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying the way this thing has some of the other features in it, it just doesn't make sense. See that? What also looks like, and I just noticed this now, is it looks like it does this. Like, in other words, this is off the ground, and this item might be the top of something right here we're seeing, and there's like an inlet. See this right here? You can actually see a little dark rectangle right there. If you guys can see that. Yeah? And you get a perfect hole right next to it. And these other white little pieces. See that? There's a darkened area right there. And look at the shape of this thing. It looks like this thing's been cracked or something. Now, these things may not be very big. What they are, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Okay, let's bounce over to this thing. These other pieces here. This is what I was telling you earlier. I'm going to bounce over this on this picture as well. The objects we're talking about is, let me just get out of here just a little bit. Right there. And right here. This is the one we're going to look at now. Here you go. Bring the features out. You can see that line. And of course, it's so blurry on this picture. It's hard to see it. But again, this is the way it came from them. See, the idea is to give you guys a low res or blurry picture or some kind of crap so you can't make heads or tails out of it. And that's the whole idea of it. Just so you can look at it as an overall and go, oh, wow, that's cool. You know what I mean? But the objects are there. Here's another little piece, that white piece. What I find interesting about this is that it literally looks like it has like a small circle, and the thing goes down like this here. It almost looks like some kind of weird mechanical face, if that even makes sense. You see it? And all I do is just use the burn tool. If anything's dark, it's going to bring it out. And anything light, it'll bring it out. Well, not the burn tool, it won't. But I mean, as far as you can go right here. You can go to your dodge tool and do the same thing as your burn tool. Just go over the thing real quick and then see if anything pops. And there you go. I just noticed this right here. Looks like it's this weird kind of square with this round circle in the center. See it? I don't know if you guys can see that. All right, let's back out. A couple other things here to show you. Here's this other wild-looking little piece. Let me show you this one here first. Here's that piece right here. And I'm going to show you this right here. Now, is it possible these are nothing more than rocks? Yes. However, some of the things in here have some shapes that could be questionable. Let's just use that. Because it's possible all these are rocks. It's just this funky looking stuff. But some of these things I'm not so sure about, right? Let's bounce over this area here. I want to show you this other area. Go up. Now this area here was tough to bring out because, like I said, this area right there, you can see what looks like something going like this. Well, it's just a little piece there. Kind of going over and then back down. And all you can see is right here, this white area. However, if you were to take this out, because there's a piece right here that does this. And does that. Now, let's go ahead and enhance this a bit and see what this looks like. Check this out. Now, you can see the shadows to it right there. See that? There's a hole here somewhere, or there's just a bright area, but you can see the shadows right there. So again, we've got these things like this. It's a very good possibility these things are sticking out, and they look like they're in layers. You can see it right here. See it? Like it's got height to it. Whatever the hell that thing is, and this other object right here, which is hard to bring out, but once it's been brought out, I didn't even see that to be truthful. When you first started to do it, I was like, what the hell? And all of a sudden these lines started to come out of it. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. And it may not be anything more than just rock, right? Or just part of the surface, and I'd be okay with that. But whatever the hell these things are, this is right here, I don't know. You could see the lines in it right there, too, by the way. See it right there? And again, you've got this other area here. Of course, I did that kind of sloppily. But you see that right there. Other object up here. That may be nothing more than just a rock as well. But it just makes you question these things. See, these things, this was white to begin with, see it? And it looks like they just kind of went over that thing. And all you see is the rest of this doing this. And just like some of the hole itself. See that? Now, I did sharpen it. This is the reason why you get that kind of weird, like, resolution. Almost looks like a real bad resolution now. But that's just sharpening it. But it looks like it has like this black hole on one side and then one on the top. See that? After you burn away the garbage that they put on there. Or it's just like that in the picture, and just by bringing it out, you can enhance it a little bit better. I don't know, guys. What are you guys thinking here? I'm looking at this here, and I'm going, I'm not so sure all of this is just natural. You know what I mean? I don't think it's just natural itself. And if it's all rocks, then it's some real funky designs. And like I said, I'm going to go back to these pages here. When you look at these, and of course you'll get the links. I'll send you individual links to these. And when you have a look, again, this has been manipulated. You can see that. I think they're there for much more than just a soil sample or a little rock sample. Judging by these areas that has information that's been redacted. And you can see just something that's right there, like a pot of white or something right there. And the rest of it has been completely redacted. See it? And again, you can see the way this looks, man. I mean, I can't zoom in any more than that, but you can see this goes across, up like this, down, over, like this, over, down. Yeah, this isn't simple compression marks, guys. You know, you can see a lot of that on this photo, and then you can see the information redacted. You can see it literally been taken out. I think this thing is much more than just a rock. I think it could be an artificial craft made to look natural. You guys be the judge. You guys check these photos out and check these objects out. Like this object in the bottom, as I showed you earlier, there's no way. Look at this. Comes down, goes like this, straight across, goes up like this here, and then back down. See the way that thing is designed? Come on. There's no way that this thing is natural. I think this thing's some kind of deep space probe. What do you guys think? Maybe it's an alien probe. It's not the first time that they've looked at a certain rock, right? Yeah. And here's this other one that here's another view of it, another area of this asteroid. Right there. Now, this weird thing right here, now this may be nothing more than a jagged rock, and I'd be okay with that. You can see something right here that's white, and then you can see right here the color's been taken out. See that right there? It's been right there. It's been abruptly taken out, but something right there, nice and white, looks good. Gone. Something right here. There's something laying right in this area, and it's been taken out. These objects in the back, I think these are objects, and they almost look like round or like a octagonal shape. Again, this is nothing here. All this right here in the middle of the screen, that's all just like lens flare. But right here on this terminator line, you can see it looks like it's just half lit and then half dark, and then this other one's in the shade. Whatever these things are, I believe there's much more to this rock than they're saying. And again, my question would be, why go through all the trouble of going to this 173 million miles away from Earth? No, don't get me wrong, they're saying it's going to get closer. Okay. How many other rocks have been here? What was that, like 300,000 miles or something like that? There was one that was close to Earth. And they probably just looked at it through telescopes and could tell, right? But why are they so concerned with this? I think when they look at this thing and see the shape of this thing, of this rock, yeah, I think there's much more to this rock than they're saying. When you look at this thing, you can't help but to go, wow, that is just weird. Look at the shape of this thing, man. I mean, really? Look at this. It's like a diamond-shaped object, and it just happens to be oh, it's a pile of rubble, I said. How do you have a pile of rubble that's like compressed together, just kind of floating around? Is it possible from heat? It's been fused? Sure. You guys be the judge. You will get the links as usual. And of course, I have no problem with that. But you guys tell me what you think. Again, I think there's much more going on about this whole mission. They went there for a reason. And they're studying it for a reason. Now they're bringing it back. Was it just soil? Or was it pieces of steel or metal that they're bringing back? Who knows, right? Anyway, guys, give me your take on it, man. Let me know. Comment and throw your thoughts below. like, and share the video. Always greatly appreciated. You guys know that. And again, don't forget about tomorrow's hangout at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. With that, I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the flip side.